Hi everyone, my name is John Jardin from Agilit-e, and today I'm going to show you how to set up VS Code as well as a number of recommended plugins. So just before we get going, VS Code, probably the most popular code editor at the moment. The alternatives would be Atom or Sublime Text. At Agilit-e we've used all these editors, and right now we're very fond of Visual Studio Code. So well done to Microsoft for that. So let's get it set up. So here I have High Sierra running MacOS, and I've opened up Safari to the following URL, code.visualstudio.com/download, which takes me to this page, and here's where we can download Visual Studio Code for Mac. You just click on this link over here. I've already downloaded it on my side, so you can see that it's over here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this to the applications folder, and once inside there I'm going to search for it and double click on it to run. So I mean that's all you need to do to get Visual Studio Code running on a Mac. So now that VS Code is installed and running, I'd like to recommend a couple of plugins that are going to make your development life a lot easier, especially if you're into Node.js development or React.js development, anything to do with maybe Docker or Kubernetes and similar environments. These plugins are really going to come in handy for you. You'll notice that I'm working inside a Mac, so for those that are referencing the Windows version of this video, the reason why I'm using a Mac over here is because number one, that's my primary environment, and number two, everything that I do from here is identical whether you're on a Mac or on a Windows environment. Alright, so on the left hand side over here we can go and click on the extensions tab on the left hand side over here, and it's going to show you a number of popular extension tabs, but let me go and recommend the following. So if you're into Node.js development, you're most likely going to need the .env extension, which is support for .env files. Very handy. So let's run and install that. The next one is Beautify. Beautify code, especially for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSON, XML. It just restructures your file to and just makes it look awesome based on default settings. So I highly recommend Beautify plugin. Then what's next? Color Highlight. This is also great because inside your editors, whatever color codes or hex codes that you place inside there, it will actually show you the actual color that that code is referencing. So very handy when it comes to editing. Then what's next? Docker. If you do anything related to Docker, there's a great Docker extension. So let's install that. And it will even have a Docker tab over here, and it allows you to view your local images. It allows you to spawn containers and a number of other things that you can do with this Docker extension. After that, ESLint. Especially if you start upgrading your JavaScript to the new, more modern versions of JavaScript, you're going to want ESLint running in your VS Code environment. Very powerful. And then what's next? Kubernetes. If you do any kind of Kubernetes deployments, this extension is seriously powerful. You can have multiple Kubernetes instances running on clouds or on-premise, and this extension will allow you to visually see what's going on in each one of these environments, as well as perform various operations, including easily just opening up the dashboard. So for those of you who are not fond of typing out all these commands in terminal or the command prompt, this extension really does the job. Alright, so we're almost done. Next one is TODO Highlight. Very powerful extension as well. I'll actually show this right now what it does inside your editors. I'll give a quick demo of this and the Todo Tree while we're at it. Install the Todo Tree as well. Okay, two more left. The next is vscode-icons. This is optional, but I must say that I'm very fond of this. It just creates awesome icons for the type of files when you have a tree structure for your project, the folders and the type of files that are inside your project. This extension really displays some awesome icons, really makes it your user interface look great. The last one is YAML support. If you're working with Docker files or if you're working with Kubernetes deployment files, you want YAML support. And I see that this already kind of gets installed. I don't know if it's something that I triggered as part of the previous extensions, but every time I get to this, it's already either telling me that it's busy installing or it's already installed and reloaded. So all good over there. So that's it. Those are the recommended plugins that I have right now that really make the most sense for me. I'm going to go ahead and click on reload, which is going to just restart VS Code and make sure that all these plugins are active. So there's two things that I want to show you here quickly. Firstly, if we cut to the VS Code icons, we need to activate it, right? So let me just show you how to manually do this. You can either click activate over here, or we can go to the file menu and we can go to the preferences. I think it's the file icon theme, and we go, and it's default to SETI, so we just go and switch that to VS Code. Alright, so we won't see anything now because we don't actually have files, but now that's active. And the second thing that I wanted to do, I wanted to show you the the TODO Highlight and the TODO Tree. So let's go and create a file. Just say file, new file, and let's say that this is a JavaScript file, and I'm just going to go and say let x is equal to 1, and exports.x. Let's just do exports. I keep missing the R. Sorry about that. Exports.test is equal to test. I'm just putting in some basic JavaScript over here. But let's say that I wanted to fix this up. So this is a common practice in code where you go and apply a / and to do. And notice what happens after I add the column. It highlights as a to do item. This is a test. And this is what TODO Highlight is doing, is it's actually highlighting the to-do items that you can either see on the right-hand side or over here. Another one is / fix me, : You can see that it gets highlighted in a bit of a purplish color. This is a fix me task. I love this extension because it's so easy to go and identify the to-dos or fix me's that we may add inside our code while we may be developing or reviewing. But what's also great is we also installed the TODO Tree, and the TODO Tree extension creates this icon over here. And once I save this file, let's just save it wherever on our desktop, and we'll say test.js. Once we save this file, here in the TODO Tree, it will now show that test.js and its location has a to-do item and a fix me item. So this is great if you want to go and list all the to-dos that exist within your project inside Visual Studio Code. So great extensions, these two. But I mean, everything that I've recommended today, I use all the time. If you're into Node.js, React.js development, Kubernetes, or Docker, you can't do without these extensions. And that's that for this video. So until next time, cheers.